Without further ado, we'll begin. So Mimaki had launched the TxF150-75 recently at the ISA show. And if the direct-to-film market at large up until now has been plagued by instability and lack of reliability in the products in the market. So Mimaki's concept with designing the TxF150-75 was to offer a solution that was packed with all of the technology needed to resolve these issues in the market, as well as, and then backed by Mimaki's industry best service and support. So to have a very reliable and stable product to offer the market. Some of the key features with the product: you have a 31.5 inch width. It is equipped with thermal pigment transfer inks. These are Okotex certified. It also has a dedicated pinch roller system. So they've designed the pinch roller system to work perfectly with transporting the film, which can be very slippery. We also have a new circulation system for the white ink, MCT version 2. It has a 3-way intelligent heater to create higher image quality, and it is a compact design. So we'll see here, for those of you less familiar with a digital printing workflow, and for those very familiar, you're starting off with your typical design softwares: Illustrator, Photoshop, CorelDRAW. Then you would design the image that you want to design. Then you would go into the RIP, and the RIP is where you set up your color file management, and then you queue for printing. Basically, the RIP communicates with the printer to print. This is where you'll print directly with the thermal pigment inks to the film. From here, after you print the film is then coated with a powder, a TPU powder, an adhesive powder, which then you'll cure it or bake it. And what that means is you're basically just melting the powder onto your design. So from here, then you're ready then to press the design to a t-shirt. And this takes anywhere from about 5 to 10 seconds. So this is a very, very fast, easy process. You have the Mimaki Genuine Products, ink, software, printer. Some other necessary preparations would be the film, powder, a heat press, and the post-processing shaker machine to apply the powder. Some of the key advantages for direct-to-film. So when you want to compare to the DTG market, when you want to print with white ink to print, a black or colored shirt, you have to apply a pre-treatment to it. So with direct-to-film, it does not require any pre-treatment to print with the white in color. You can apply to, the widest range of textiles, from natural, synthetic, so it's, cotton, bamboo, hemp, rayon, linen, to even nylon. I think I mentioned that. And so you have the widest range of textiles, no pre-treatment. Compared to DTG, you'll be using about 160% less white ink. The direct-to-film application does not crack during washing, so you have a more durable application. So it's easy, it's fast. The other two markets that, this would be an ideal product for, garment decorators, that are currently doing transfer vinyls. With the direct-to-film, there's no masking, no weeding required, which masking and weeding can be very, very laborious before you want to transfer it. So also when you compare to screen printing, you're able, with direct-to-film and this digital printing process, you're able to use an unlimited amount of colors. So not only do you not have to waste resources by burning one screen per color in the design, as well as extra time put in to be able to color separate designs, so on and so forth. You have a very simple process with direct-to-film when you compare to screen printing. So this is a great add-on for existing businesses looking to be able to create product more efficiently, faster, and increase revenue. When you look at the two workflows to compare DTG and direct-to-film, direct-to-film has some really key advantages here. It's really streamlined the whole process. If you'll see for a DTG workflow to print a colored t-shirt, you'll have to use a pre-treatment machine. So you'll pre-treat the textile first. This requires a worker to do this. Then from here, you would go over to the printer and you'd be loading, the shirt onto the printer. This also requires another labor or worker to do this part of the process to load the shirts on and off the printer. From here, you would dry the shirt, the printed shirt, and then you would, cure with a heat press. When you look at the direct-to-film process, you'll see it does not require the pre-treatment, so you can transfer to a wide range of textiles without pre-treatment. Then you just you print the film, then it goes right into the post-processing shaker, and it'll apply the powder and then melt the powder. Then it goes right onto the take-up. So from here, at that end process, once you have your whole roll on the take-up, you then would take it over and it takes about 5 to 10 seconds. You transfer to a shirt. So it does not require to have a laborer to do those beginning processes as with DTG, and it's also just you can hit print, walk away, and you can create a lot of product very quickly. When we take a look at the TxF150-75 head configuration, we have CMYK and white. It's a 5-color system. As I mentioned, thermal transfer pigment inks that are Oeko-Tex certified. You have 600 millimeters for CMYK and 500 millimeters for white. You'll see here the standard print speed. You're looking at 10 pass, 720, 720 for 28 feet squared per hour. However, you can also run it quicker and get high quality image output at 8 pass, 35.5 feet squared per hour. So here, this takes a look at the productivity overview. So if I'm printing at standard production 720, 10 pass, that's the resolution and print settings I'll be printing at, and I'm doing a full front t-shirt, so 14 inches by 11. I can do about 22 sheets or 22 shirts per hour. When you look at a logo design product for about a 4 by 4 inch design, you're looking at approximately 210 sheets or 210 shirts per hour. So this is color and white when you're printing a colored textile. If you were just doing color only and you were printing at that standard speed, in the middle, you're looking at 44 shirts per hour, or for a small logo design, you're looking at about 420 shirts per hour. Some of the technologies and features that the TxF150-75 has been equipped with, for stable and reliable production is the new white ink circulation system, MCT version 2. And what this does is it continuously circulates the white ink all the way down to the damper above the print head. By continuously circulating, greatly reduce, any white ink sedimentation, which is really ideal for stable printing. Also, it's been one of the features that's been setting the product apart in the market is the degassed aluminum ink pack. And so all of the oxygen and gases have been removed from the ink, so it cannot mix with the ink, which greatly reduces nozzle clogging and nozzle failure. So the degassed ink pack, as well as the MCT version 2 white ink circulation system, these two features together, also will extend the life of your print head and, downtime, of course, to keep you running high production continuously. So another feature, some of the industry has been plagued by unstable media feeding and walking. So the TxF has a fine-tuned new roller system. So basically the roller pressure has been combined with the exact right amount of lighter pressure, not to indent the film and to feed the film across the platen of the printer stable. In addition, the machine has a 3-way intelligent heater. So its pre and print heating element, controls the spread of ink onto the media. So this will allow for higher quality images as well as blur-free, prevents blurry images. Also, the post heater element will accelerate the ink drying before it enters the shaking process, the shaker process, to apply the powder. Some of the other core technologies that are really, important to note that this machine also has all of Mimaki's essential technologies like our nozzle check unit and nozzle recovery system. So the unit has a laser that goes across the plan. It automatically detects if an ink droplet hasn't been fired, and it automatically then goes into a cleaning function. If the nozzle can be recovered, it just continues printing. If the nozzle cannot be recovered, the nozzle recovery system goes on and replaces the defective nozzle with a non-defective nozzle and continues printing. So it's a totally automated process that makes high quality printing, continuous. The machine has variable dot technology, which is basically the ink has been optimized at ink droplet size for smoother color gradations. So there are different sizes of ink droplets. 7 picoliters is the smallest with the TxF. And this is also where you'll see those, really beautiful like fine lines details as well. We also have Mimaki's advanced pass system, which allows the ink to be laid down in a gradation-like tone between passes, which reduces banding and any uneven color printing, that from occurring. Last but not least, our waveform control technology, which is the waveform. It utilizes a finely tuned frequency per the PHT50 ink's viscosity. So they've really fine-tuned the frequency at which the ink droplet will be put onto the media per that ink's viscosity, which will allow for a precisely shaped ink droplet exactly where you want it. So that's, where you get those really sharp lines, details, and image qualities. So these are all great technologies for high quality continuous production. We also have the Rasterlink 7 key features. So Mimaki standard with the printer, you get the software comes with, and you get a set of ink. So one of the features would be it can do variable data. So if you're a business that requires doing numbers and names for sportswear jerseys or other products, this would be a great item to use. Also, if you're a brand that wants to put logos on different positionings, this is also a key feature that you could utilize. Rasterlink 7 has a special layer creation, so this makes it really easy to lay color and then white ink down when you're creating design. So if I want to print a black t-shirt, I would just create my color file as usual. And then when I bring that file, into Rasterlink, I can tell, Rasterlink, I just want to put white ink under wherever I have, color in that image. So that would be like a valid pixel. And you create this special layer automatically. Then it also allows you to control the special layer adjustment. So I don't want, when you're laying a color and a white down for an image, you don't want the white to be the exact, same size as the color, because then sometimes you'll see a little bit of white ink around the outside of your design. So here you'll see we have a special layer adjustment that allows you to easily just pull in the white ink by a couple pixels. So you just get those really nice images without a border, an undesirable border of white around the image. Some other necessary preparations for the DTF film. So obviously we're using a film for this process to print and transfer. So film widths that work with our printer would be a 24-inch or a 30-inch. Service receiving layer, we do doing a lot of testing internally with films, and can make recommendations. We of course, recommend doing testing with us if you have a film in mind, but thin, uniform, even coating is important. You can use a single coated or double side coated film. Typically the ones that have been working really well and are a little bit quicker shaker would be, you're looking at around 284 degrees Fahrenheit or 140 degrees Celsius for about 5 to 10 seconds in a warm peel. So a warm peel makes it just a lot easier, to throw it on very quickly and to produce a lot of product faster, obviously, because you're just going to be putting it on and peeling it. So for recommended hot melt powder, so the powder is a TPU, it's a thermal polyurethane. And so really the key feature that's important here is to have it around the 200 particle size. When the powder is too thin, then you run into some issues with not being able to shake the excess, once it's coated, not being able to shake off the excess powder. And what happens with that is then when the powder goes through the heating element to melt it, you sometimes have melted the powder where you don't want it. So then when you transfer it to a t-shirt, you end up seeing adhesive particles, in undesirable locations. And if it's too, particle size is too large, then you have more clumping and not an even coating, of the design. There we go. So necessary preparations for the shaker post-processing machine. We are working with partners and developing, solutions with the Mimaki printer. You'll see here there is some key requirements that work best, as well as, I'll describe the basic process for, everyone that's less familiar. So when the film comes off the printer, it feeds directly into the shaker device. With the shaker, there's a front heating plate for the opening of what it feeds in, so it dries the ink a little bit. Once it goes past that front heating plate, it'll go into a compartment. It's a first compartment. So it goes down into this compartment, and then it'll be, it'll coat it with powder. There's a powder, will be going on top of the image, and then there's a moving piece as it's exiting this compartment. There's a moving shaking piece, and what that shaking, spinning piece is doing, it's just knocking off all of the excess powder. So you only want the powder to be where your design is. So it's a very, simple process. And then it goes into the second compartment, which is a heater. And what the heater does is with the Mimaki printer, you're probably gonna have it set at about 112 degrees, Celsius to 120. And it'll just melt the powder. Then once it melts the powder in the heater element, it just goes on to the take up. So the things that are important here are, obviously drying time, the set temperature to verify, having it as 100, to 100 degrees Celsius, sensor control, shaker with the sensor to control automatically controls the feed rate of transportation of the film, cooling fans. As I mentioned, the take-up device is important, as well as making sure it has an exhaust rate. Some of the ones in the market currently have an external exhaust, and some of them have an internal exhaust. So you just want to make sure it's at 2 to 4 meters, meters cubed per minute. So for a heat press, these are pretty standard. You're really just, the requirement is having it, for 284 degrees Fahrenheit or 140 degrees Celsius to transfer the design to the shirt. So when we look at a basic ROI for a 50 shirt order, just to give an idea of, what the opportunity and potential for sales could be with this product, you'll see here we have a total t-shirt cost of $6.63 for ink and color. So if we were printing this black shirt you see here on the left, you're looking at about 22 cents per square foot. For the film, 30 cents per square foot. For the powder, 11 cents per square foot. And for a blank shirt, we average to it's $6 a blank shirt. This can vary, but it's just an average. So altogether, you're looking at $6.63. So for 50 shirts, my total job cost would be $331.50. Production time, approximately 2.5 hours. And if you're retailing these 50 shirts at $35 a pop, you're looking at $1,750. So that minus the total job cost, your job profit is $1,418.50. So this is really great for anyone that is currently doing transfer vinyls and wants to, wants a more efficient workflow and wants to grow their business. Also, screen printers, we've seen, a lot of interest to be able to add this on to their current product offering. Apparel brands and sportswear companies to be able to make product and customize, put their logo, has been, of high interest. Textile print service providers, they would like an extra add-on within their existing customer base, great opportunity. Apparel manufacturers, of course, this is a great opportunity. Even signage companies that are looking to add on and offering additional offering to their product line. So for signage companies, if they're already doing the signage for a special event, I use this example often as a golf tournament. So say if for this golf tournament, they have, 10,000 attendees and they want to do, golf gloves with the logo of the tournament on it, or maybe even bags for purchase. They could offer this in addition to the signage they're already providing this event, which is a great opportunity. Also, the process is very, you can hit print and walk away, and then you need somebody then to heat press up to all the products, but it's pretty streamlined. So please, if you're not already getting, Intel Mimaki info from us for our upcoming, events and, offerings, please get in contact. Go to mimakiusa.com. You can also find us on social media.